right. Woo! All right.
Hey.
What's up, friends? I'm live. It's been like 4 months since I've done a stream because we've all been in Codex limbo, but got great news. The preview dropped this morning. We're gonna start with the preview. Move through that. I'm here with Tommy. Tommy's a way better Grey Knights player than I am. He's been to like Warhammer World and stuff. And I think my chat box is totally broken, so that tracks. Just gonna make that go away. Sorry guys, I will watch chat like the old days. Tommy says, or Miniature Warzone says, yo Tommy, what's up? Looks like we got a lot of folks asking for leaks in the whole codex. I don't have the whole codex. I just got a bunch of hearsay.
Couple of idiots on the internet.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Tommy?
I'm feeling pretty good. I just got done playing Super Major in Tacoma. Had fun at that. I got to jam some different kind of knights on the table. Played some chaos knights, but fortuitous timing that I get done with that mess of a meta to just come back and start looking at the real knights, the Knights of Titan.
There we go.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I think there's some cool stuff that seems to be indicated in those Warcom rumors and some of the stuff that's swirling around the internet about how Grey Knights are going to be playing for the rest of the edition.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a good time.
I'm pretty stoked. All right, well, I know everybody wants to get into the previews and the leaks. I do want to start out with one sad announcement, though. This afternoon, I had to put down my cat of 18 years. I'm trying not to get choked up at the moment. She was amazing, so I'm gonna crack one open for her. This is for you, Babber. Anybody else who wants to join, feel free. And then we're gonna get into the preview to start. I'll get it up on the screen. Everybody I know is itching to talk about the rumors. Don't forget, we do these live, so you can actually engage with us. But yes, this is to my my fat queen Babber. With that said, so the first all right, so we should start. Army rule generally stayed the same. This wasn't something I thought would change. How about you, Tommy?
Honestly, I thought it was going to change. I thought we were going to get this Thousand Suns treatment, and that they were going to go back to the drawing board, but they didn't, and they stuck with it. So I think when thinking about this Codex, and then also looking ahead to 11th edition, which will probably be here in less than a year.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
I think 10th is so good.
Well, I know. I think it's like what GW's wanting to do with a faction identity is they don't want it to be just another psychic army without chaos trim. They want it to be strike from the shadows, punch hard, get out, and I think that's represented in what they're trying to do with this rule set. It's not just uppy downy. it's uppy downy with, you know, a little bit of spice, like
Yeah.
putting stuff back into reserve and things like that.
I,
So
I know the joke for a long time was like, you got Hyper Crypt, and then you got the Blood Angels detachment, and it's like, oh, everybody gets to be Grey Knights now. This makes us, once again, at least there's one detachment specifically that makes us very much not that way. Like, the uppy downy is still very much there, but it's like, now we can uppy downy in our own movement phase, or after our command phase, so we can still score points with this detachment. They also removed a lot of the ambiguity about, like, are you in reserves? Are you in strategic reserves? Do you get to, like, res your dudes? Can you use a
yeah,
stratagem? I don't know. We're in the
I still
warp, baby.
remember the feeling of that first, like the first Tacoma in 2003, where I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna be rezzing Terminators in Deep Strike, and then the judge was like, no. And it broke my heart. So
And then, like,
it's
6 weeks later, games workshops like, oh no, that's totally fine. You can do that.
yep, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that
Pain.
tracks.
But you know, wouldn't be Grey Knights without a little bit of sacrifice and
There you go. So
sadness.
I like this. The army rule changed to deep strike instead of teleport assault, I think was the name of the old one. It's been that long
Hmm.
since I've actually looked at this index that closely. Um,
Yeah.
so they gain deep strike. You can pull 3 back up. So everything's the same. But this first detachment called Brotherhood Strike, they're all about manipulating when we do that, how we do that. I think that's pretty cool. This definitely gives us. I mean, we're a 2-up army that can be anywhere we want on the board, and this just makes us do that better. So that's already not bad, right?
Yeah. I
Um,
think initially I wasn't sure what they were trying to do with this one. It was like, yeah, I mean, reroll hits of 1 to wound, you know, hit and wound when you come in from D strikes. It's kind of neat, but it's like, you know, I'm just melee pilled, and I'm like, do you just need to be bombing 9-inch charges all the time? But
right.
it
That was my
actually,
first thought too.
yeah, this one I think is probably, if I had to guess how it's going to play really similarly to the Prescient Brethren from Ninth Edition, where you have the, you know, it's kind of built around that Dread Knights hitting and wounding, reroll on ones, um, and kind of a mobile shooting force. And I think you can do that pretty solidly with this. And then also, you know, you combine it with the um, some of the stratagems that go along with it. And those two that they previewed are really, really powerful. Duty Unending and Expeditious Exit, right?
Yes,
Um,
Expedition Exit is something I wished we had in the index detachment.
yeah, I mean, it is, well, so it's like Duty Unending. I like anytime someone makes a fallback, like your guys get stuck in, they sort of kill something, maybe not. They need to get out so they won't die. So they fall back. It's like guaranteed missive Deimos. Your opponent can't play around it. And you just bring them right back in with a rapid reserve because that happens at the end of the movement phase. So you basically can wheel in some Terminators, shoot, you know, after shooting at people, you know, whatever, bring them back in for another CP. Like basically duty unending, rapid ingress,
Yeah,
that's where your 2 command points are going to be
yeah.
going almost every turn.
It's the same thing as
But
the miss rapid ingress combo,
mhm,
like you mentioned earlier. But Expeditious Exit, I think
dude,
is actually one that I made up in another stream where I was talking about like detachments I'd like to see, and I think I actually created almost the exact same stratagem. And I even made it 2 CP because it's that good.
you remember like when the Chaos Space Marines Codex came out and everyone was worried about Warp Talons coming in and wheeling in and killing something and then never being interacted with? Well, this is it, right? Like fortunately it's 2 command points, so you can't just wheel stuff in and out with Expeditious Exit and um, you know, the and like a rapid ingress, but if you combine it with the CP reduction that you get on like a Grandmaster, for example, you get one time of doing, doing that combo with very little risk, right? It makes the whole combination drop down to 2 CP.
Is it
So
-1 CP?
on the Grandmaster's ability is, yeah.
Is it though?
It's a captain ability, right?
I thought it was 0. I thought that's the rumored change. It'll be
Oh, no, I'm not talking about rumors. I'm talking about what's
okay.
on the data sheets right
What's on
now.
the current data sheet? All right. I was
Yeah,
trying to like set you up,
yeah.
but
We don't
I guess
remember. We're just idiots on the internet talking
that's
about
right.
a
Yeah.
Workcom article. So
So it would not surprise me to discover that the Grandmaster gets the Space Marine captain treatment.
I hope. I mean,
So
it was so so
which
insult so
yeah.
insulting.
I know why they did it. Like they didn't want
Yeah,
people using miss every single battle round for free, but also it's like, so what?
yeah.
Other armies get to do their cool shit for free. This
I mean, for what it's
potentially,
worth, when
yeah.
when the edition came out, I accidentally cheated, doing this in some of my first games because I don't know how to read, and like, and it was really, really good.
Yeah,
Like, I get why they did it,
yeah.
but like, you know, um, it's
Well, in a
it's gonna
world
be good.
in a world where potentially, maybe
Hmm.
the warp has spoken, and a Grandmaster could make it 0 CP.
That'd be sick.
You're gonna do expeditious retreat every single turn.
Yeah,
So we should actually
expeditiously.
probably say what these are. I actually just remembered a lot of my viewers, they listen to this like a podcast. So expeditious retreat, end of your opponent's fight phase, 1 Grey Knight Psyker infantry unit from your army. If every model in your unit has a deep strike ability, remove your unit from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. So it is at the end of your opponent's fight phase. Then there is this. There's that question. If you know your current Grey Knight rules, you're like, but can that work in engagement range? There's a designer's note in here that specifically says this stratagem allows you to remove a unit in addition to those removed using the Gate of Infinity rule. So this is another. So this is a 4th unit actually going up, and it allows you to remove a unit within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units.
I think just kind of reading through this, I think, yeah, that stratum's gonna be really good.
And so
Um,
I'll reiterate again. So there are 2 ways to use this, right? One is you can just have a unit at a position. Maybe you brought down some Terminators or a strike squad to like score something in a corner, right? They're like doing, was it like containment, and they're way off in the middle of fucking nowhere. You can pull up 3 units, spend 2 CP, and pull those guys up as well. They don't even have to be engaged. There's no action to like have an enemy come towards you. There's no trigger. It's just if every model has the deep strike ability, they can go back up if you want to spend the CP. And it's at the end of your opponent's fight phase. So you can bring them in again in your movement phase. You can use duty unwielding, like potentially in the same turn, and do that again with rapid ingress.
just like these 2 stratagems alone, like you're gonna lose some friends, like
Yeah.
playing this because like this is so. If you've ever played against like the Fade Thirster that's in the Bellacore detachment, like that is probably very similar. Like you're gonna have a very similar experience to this. It's just
Yeah.
like, cool, this thing goes, deletes something, disappears, and
Yeah.
it reappears somewhere else, and then it kills something else. So I initially was kind of down on this detachment. I think, but I think these 2 stratagems are kind of what you're gonna build your game plan around. Gonna be what you build lists around because, I
Yeah.
mean, this is good stuff. So
Absolutely. All right. So the next one is the Agurum Task Force. So their prescient redeployment is their detachment rule. From the second battle round onwards at the start of your movement phase, if you did not select the maximum number of Grey Knights units from your army using the Gate of Infinity ability at the end of your opponent's previous turn, you may select one Grey Knights unit from your army that is on the battlefield that could have been selected, so it can't be in engagement range. You remove it from the battlefield and place it into strategic reserve. So at the start of your movement phase. So that means if any of you have played a game where you've got your one token strike squad and they're standing on your objective, they sticky it in turn one and then they sit there like idiots, and you don't just want to run them around, or you need to use your Gate of Infinity on better targets, you can, or on two other ones, you can grab these guys for free, still score, still sticky, and then move them elsewhere. Or you could be sticking other objectives later in the game in that very the same way. Or you could be scoring objectives like behind enemy lines, all that stuff. Thoughts?
Sorry, I got distracted by chat.
Oh, okay.
To quote Vader, where is Drago? Is he safe?
Should I mention that?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
No. I just thought it was funny. Completely derailed my thought process. But no, I think this one's good. I think it's like it's got utility. I don't know if it's like gonna be for everyone as like a detachment. This seems more just like if I was playing teams, this would be an interesting one because it's like
That's a
guaranteed
good point.
points, a lot more. Like this is gonna be your 10-10, go get a draw, guarantee you score points. You're sticking everything, like going all over the map. Because one of the really cool things about this is like you get to draw your secondaries, and then you get to pick something up. Like,
yeah,
that's amazing. Like you can basically guarantee your tactical cards every turn. It's
which
super good.
The listed strat digs into that more as well. So redirected strike, 1 CP, win at the end of your command phase. So if you want to score primary, select one, which also means you've drawn your cards. You can grab one Grey Knight Psyker unit that's not within an engagement range, and as long as it has deep strike, it goes right back into strategic reserves. And it specifically has another designer's note. I've never seen a preview with this many designer's notes because you know that they're getting like tricky, right? It says this stratagem lets players utilize ability that retain control of objective markers and react to their missions and objectives with this unit. So they are specifically calling out that you use this after you know what your missions are and after you know if you've scored or stickied an objective. Which is very cool.
Yeah. Like there were a lot of there were a lot of early lists that were just like, I'm not going to interact with you. I'm just going to hold primary and just try to like,
Yeah, I've got 10
objectives.
Terminators on here with 30 OC. Exactly. Like, have fun.
I'm throwing, I'm taking behind enemy lines and locusts and like throwing Stern back there plus another unit, and then just like you keep throwing trash into the opponent's backline and just rack up points, right? Without ever killing anything. This type of detachment leans into that play style of like focusing more on primary than killing, and I think it'll be an interesting way to play. I don't know if it's necessarily for me. I like punching things.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I think it's on its face, it's like but like I think in teams it's got a lot of value as a blunting role.
I'll get to some of these questions in 1 minute. I want to piggyback off of what Tommy was saying there. I didn't think about the teams aspect. I saw this and I thought, if I ever played like 1,000-point crusade for like 3 or 4 games, I would probably pick this just because it's really crazy. Like at 1,000 points, you're grabbing like your entire army every turn, basically, and just flopping them all over the map. And I thought that would be really neat. But yes, I also saw this one as the weakest one, to me, at least for my playstyle.
Yep.
You want to be killing stuff, or at least I want to be killing stuff. I like watching my opponent grab models off the table. So, but it is very tricky, and it's neat. So now I'll get into some of these questions. So, Archon said could be classic teleport strike problem where there are endless good strats, but not enough CP. Do we think that we'll get something that generates CP, or will Grandmasters get a fix? So I would not be surprised if Grandmasters got the Space Marine Captain treatment, and the unit that they're leading can once per battle round, not per game, reduce a strat to 0. I would not be surprised. Don't know if you guys can hear my eyeballs going back and forth, but I would not be surprised to
I mean, I've written
see
a
that.
strongly worded letter to Games Workshop on this one. It's just like, I remember when the edition came out, I actually was like, "Hey, is this a typo?" And they're like, "No, it's not." It was like,
Yeah.
sick. And then
So
yeah, I got sad. But
I will.
yeah, I hope they get that similar treatment, and I think if they do, then that solves a lot of problems to like what you're saying, it being a command point starved army where you want to do all the cool stuff, but you can't because the toys are locked up. So
It is one of the things that I really enjoy about playing Warpbane is that I'm like, oh my god, I have like CP to do things like grenade.
yeah,
I don't have that in Teleport Strike Force.
hey, command point rerolls a thing.
Yeah.
Sick.
I mean, if we don't see enhancements or strats that really get you to be able to charge reliably or do like punch up reliably, I see this being a fun, like you said, maybe it's really good in teams, but I don't see this being real good in like Garage Hammer. All right. So any other questions? Can we talk about how fire that card art is? Yep, all the art from all of these previews have been very cool. The like shroud like mechanic and stuff is neat. All right, jumping into and out of the battlefield isn't the only trick the Grey Knights have. The Sanctic spearhead, which we've heard mentioned in another teaser a month or so ago, now lets us know what the army or the detachment rule is, which is vehicles just add 6 inches to their movement when advancing instead of rolling, and their weapons get assault. So if you want to get 3 Land Raider Redeemers
Yeah.
and just rain hellfire down on everybody, it's amazing. Yeah, this is it's kind of like the teleport assault. You just get 6-inch advance, but giving us assault fixes one of the problems that we had in our index detachment, where it's like, if I'm not a Dread Knight and I advance, what do I do? Right? I can't shoot, I can't do actions, I can't charge, I can't do anything. So yeah. Fast box knot. Yeah, there you go, man. You should run like 3 Vendreads all fast. And then they do mention the next 2. One is the hollowed conclave built around Grey Knight's Terminators. I don't even care how good this detachment really is. I'm gonna try to make this work because I just love our Terminators so much. So here's one of the stratagems. Do you want to read this one?
Reading's hard. So,
I can read it if you want.
grind them underfoot. When in your charge phase, just after a Grey Knight Terminator unit from your army ends a charge move, target that Grey Knight's unit. Effect: select one enemy unit within engagement range of your unit, then roll 1d6 for each model in your unit that is within engagement range of that unit. For each 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 6 mortal wounds. It's pretty good. I mean, it's grenade strat on the charge. Soften them up. I think
It's tank shock, brother. For Terminators.
I mean, sort of.
I mean,
Tank
Terminators do have the grenade keyword. You could grenade and then charge it and then do this.
It's almost like we have smite back.
Our 1 damage smites.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it kind of remains to be seen like what else is in that detachment. If some of the rumors around it are true, like there's some kind of cool play patterns that you could do with it. But more on that, I guess, a little bit later, right?
A little bit later, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, the page is almost done, so.
Yep, that's true. The Banishers detachment, which we don't get to see what the detachment rule is. We didn't get to see what the Terminator one is either, but if any of you are in chat, you're probably part of the Grey Knights Discord. You've probably seen the Augurium channel. Anyway, the only thing listed is a stratagem. Well, this is the Ward Maker's detachment. This is one that really focuses on their psychic abilities. The stratagem is Hex Rot Reprisal. So, end of any phase, when a Grey Knight's Psyker unit from your army that is on the battlefield has suffered 1 or more mortal wounds this phase. So you have to use it in the same phase that you are damaged. Select 1 enemy unit which inflicted 1 or more wounds on you, and roll a number of dice equal to the number of mortal wounds that you suffered. For each 2+, you send the mortal wounds back. So Doombolt, Doombolt becomes, you just take 6 mortal wounds when I spend 1 CP. Like, and does Doombolt say it's shot by the sorcerer or by the unit?
Saw some debate about that on, I think, the Stat Check podcast today about that, of like they might need to FAQ it to figure out like who is actually doing, like, because right now it's just, for example, like grenades don't
buddy, see ya.
Like grenades don't actually, like, this wouldn't work on grenades because it's actually not with the way it's worded. It's like it's something next, technically it's something next to the thing with the grenade keyword that is taking mortal wounds, right? It's not actually something that is originating from the unit. That it's really messy, right, on how it works. But basically, like, this wouldn't work on something like that.
Guess it's just never mattered before.
Yeah, I think there needs to be like an FAQ clarifying the wording a little bit, because like technically when you throw a grenade with the grenade strat, it like Amazon primes a grenade like over a unit that's next to a unit that has grenades, because it's technically
I didn't go to lawyer school to become a lawyer. All right.
But I mean, realistically, like, everybody can agree like what it does.
Yeah.
Don't be a jerk about it. So
that's exactly what. So I was gonna make that joke that like you could get grenaded and doombolted in like the same round. Just send a whole bunch of mortal wounds back, which would be hilarious, but apparently you can't technically on the grenade thing. Yeah. So that's fun.
So
all right, well, that's the preview. So what do you think, before we get into questions and potential rumors, what do you think is the most, if you saw this preview in a vacuum, what excites you the most?
The Banishers detachment. I mean, I don't know what it does, but if they're saying that it enhances close combat attacks, like for infantry and characters, that has echoes of the Rapier's detachment from 9th edition, which was my jam. So I I probably should have built a Blood Angels army by now, but I went with World Eaters instead.
I feel
So
the same way, except I should have just done orcs.
yeah. But
So
I mean, depending on like what it actually ends up being, like if there's a like infantry based, fast, punchy detachment, it's probably the one I'll try out first. But I think a close second after, rubbing a few brain cells together on the, you know,
that's the hardest part, right?
Fury of Titan detachment. I think that one is a close second.
Yeah.
It feels like it feels like a more consistent version of the teleport assault, like index detachment,
Yeah.
right? Like you get consistent shooting. You're not necessarily going to get the rerolls on your combat units, but you can do a lot of the wheeling in and out, picking your opponent apart,
Yeah.
play patterns that were really enjoyable during the index. So
And remember, we still have access to like Warpbane. At least I assume we do, because I don't think any other armies lost their Grot Mist detachment, right?
yeah, Warpaint's sticking around, but the
Yeah.
current iteration of the index attachment, like I think they've gotten rid of all of the indexes whenever they've released the Codex.
Yeah,
So
that wouldn't surprise me. Which makes me wonder what's going to happen to Mists of Deimos.
yeah,
Shifty
I mean,
eyes.
see what happens with it. But
Yeah.
uh,
So for me, it's definitely the Terminator detachment. I have like, I don't know, 80 or 90 Terminators out there of various types. Because I'm an idiot. I'll never be able to put 90 on a board at a time, but
an enthusiast.
I'm an enthusiast, yeah. And this brings to mind, the War of Armageddon, the battle against
Yeah,
Angron with Hyperion.
yeah,
Like, just
yeah,
everybody's in Terminator armor. No one brought their power armor. They all knew this is go time. And like I want to put like just nothing but Terminators on a board. Um
yeah,
I think that would be really fun. All right.
yeah.
So index is gone, being replaced by the first one in the preview. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. The Fury the Fury of Titan, or no, that's the rule. The Brotherhood strike, whatever. Oh, I see. Yeah, this is just okay. I see. I don't even see them name it.
Yeah, I don't know what it's
Just
called.
detachment rule.
It's
Anyway,
um
no, Archon's right. Um, Speaking of, Archon sounds super familiar. I'm gonna find you, sir. I'm gonna find you. With that
all right.
said, are there any questions people have? Because if Tommy is anything like me being a douchebag with a microphone and the ability to upload videos to YouTube and ask people on Facebook if they want to go ahead and talk about Warhammer with me, means that people think I want to learn about potential leaks and rumors as fast as possible, which of course I do. It has nothing to do with that other thing, but it means that they really want me to know about it. So my Discord has been like ping, 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 all day long. How about you, Tommy?
Yeah, I've gotten a few of those, and I'm terminally online, so I've seen some of the rumors, and there's some really, I mean, there's some spicy stuff out there. It looks like a good time.
Well,
So
let's start with some of the ones that were put into the Grey Knights Discord. Which, by the way, if you're on here and you're not a member of the Grey Knights Discord, there's a link in the thing down below, and you should totally join us. We're pretty cool. Right now, it is absolutely crazy in there. I think I logged on this morning, and there's like 953 missed messages in the Augurium, the leak chat alone. So, all right, let's see. Let me pull this up in my Sorry, I'm gonna make this as hard as possible. Copy as path. That's all right. Woo. Aw. Browsers, man. Not all. There we go. All right. So, detachments are this. These are the potential leaked detachment rules that aren't listed in the preview. So they don't list what detachment it's supposed to be, so we're gonna have to make some conjecture. Leadership test for sus or lethal sounds like the Rapier's detachment to me, because that sounds just like Veterans of the Long War. Make a leadership test, gain sustained one or lethal hits. We don't know what that affects. Is it psychers? Is it everything? Is it just infantry? We don't know. Then we have the lets you save up or down in a command phase. That's one of the ones just previewed. Vehicles auto 6 was just previewed. Terminators fall back in charge. That's probably the Terminator detachment. And then reroll 1s to hit and wound on deep strike was already previewed. So I don't know when this video or these messages were sent. But if it was before the preview was out, then these look pretty accurate. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's that. What's that, like 2 of the 3 that they previewed, or 2 of the 5 that they previewed?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
it's not that, it's gonna be close. I think if I, if what is it like? I uh the Dark Packs mechanic is like super fun, just as like a game mechanic in general.
Dark Pact.
So
Yeah, that's right. I
yeah,
like
and
that
so like
too. I think that's really neat.
I mean that's what I jammed this last weekend at Tacoma. Like it's such a fun mechanic, and it just like gives you that little dopamine hit of like that you used to get with the psychic phase of like, am I hitting hard, or am I gonna blow one of my guys up here and do similar damage to what I was gonna do with my, but without the enhancement. So I think it'll be cool. It might suffer from the same problems that Grey Knights had in Ninth Edition, where it was like when you were on, but consistency always becomes a problem. And if there's a lot of minus leadership right now. Yeah, exactly, Cyril. Let's go gambling. But no, I think it could be cool. And let's roll some dice and blow some heads up
Yeah.
accidentally.
And so we don't like if this is exactly like Dark Pact, where it's like you roll a test, and if you fail, you take damage, but you still get the buff. I think that's amazing. Like
Yeah.
that's always
I
been
mean,
kind of crazy to me that like Dark Pact was you get it anyway, and I'm like, wait, you still get it? Like, but
yeah. Lethal.
that's
Can you imagine like lethal sustained on like Dread Knights?
yeah,
That's some gaming, man.
exactly.
Like
Yeah, in
if
melee even.
yeah, dude, like the full rerolls on like a Grandmaster with like sustained,
Yeah,
right? Like phew,
yeah.
no more vehicle, sir.
No more monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So I don't know what. Yeah, Legios with power swords a better secondary gun. Another thing I heard is that Purifying Flame is going up by 1 AP to 2 AP on Purifiers. So I think maybe they're talking about Legios, but then I don't know what the power swords thing means. I think they just mean Nemesis Force Weapons.
yeah, probably just Nemesis Force Weapons, but like EP2 Purifying Flame, like in the Grotmist detachment is like legitimately terrifying. Like
Yeah.
I've killed like armigers and stuff like that with the Crow Brick, just in shooting and doing full rerolls to wound. Like it's just more damage than you think, and if it's AP2 ignores cover, that's effectively AP3, like little guns. Like that's
Yeah.
pretty good. So
it leans in harder. I mean, it's anti-infantry 2+, so it's still like, you're gonna
yeah,
scare some Death Shroud Terminators as purifiers for
yeah,
sure.
man.
Like, you don't care that they're T7. You don't give a shit that they're T7. That's pretty cool. And you're gonna put them right on their armor save every time, or their invul save every time.
Yep, it's
Um,
just good stuff.
yeah. It could be that it's -2 and loses ignore cover. I don't know. Like, that's not in
Yeah.
here. These are just things we hear. We won't know until we see the data sheets. I also heard the champion is advance and charge. But I heard that it also lost fights first, and it still hasn't gained the scout keyword, which is annoying. Because, like, if you put it in a unit of strike marines, now the whole unit can't scout. So then if you put that unit in a rhino, the rhino can't scout either, and it's very obnoxious.
Yeah,
Or-
it's, I mean, it's like, can you imagine if you were doing if you're doing that with like a land raider, like, and it just jams up 12 up the board, up a lane, and like the dudes hop out, and then they have, they go kill something, and then they're in their back line, and then now they have advance and charge, so then they can go over somewhere else and delete something else. Like, if you've ever interacted with like the blade champ in custodes, it's just
I have.
you think you're safe, but you're not, and suddenly things are just on
Yeah.
top of you that shouldn't have been there.
Especially with stuff like
And
the free heroic intervention he gives too. Woo. Yeah, there's a lot of movement
yeah,
there if you're not real careful.
yeah, and like, and if the champion's on a purifier brick, like, that's 30 attacks in the Grotmus detachment that are full rerolls to hit and wound. So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, for 1 CP, which is a really good CP to spend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Any more questions or thoughts on that while I go pull up the other image? Because of course I didn't do that beforehand. I'm doing that now. So now I have to bide for time. I'm very smart.
No, I think the champion getting added to purifiers is a bigger deal than I think, it says on the surface, because I don't think you like that he just goes on strikes right now, and it's like fine. And like, I've seen some lists that have been successful that like would be better if you could like that use like a 10-man strike squad. But if you could do that same like play pattern, but with, you know, purifiers instead, that's
Yeah. No,
a lot
it's
better.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
So here's the next one. Paladins are damage 3 on the charge, not for characters. That's fine. And they have res, which I assume means one of the guys gets the Narthesium back. For damage 3 on the charge, they're gonna lose the -1 wound. There's no way they get both of those things. Like, there's absolutely no way. Unless they balloon in points to, like, Custo's level of points.
I mean, they gave Death Shroud Terminator 6-inch deep strike on just on the data sheet. So I think, like,
yeah, I guess maybe.
The adults are gone at the Games Workshop rules house. It's
Nice.
summertime. So
summertime madness, summertime sadness.
Mm.
Yeah, so here's where
sadness.
summertime damage. So purifiers have legionnaire ability. I think this means that they reroll 1s to wound if they are attacking something on an objective. I don't 100% know CSM legionnaire rules.
Oh,
but that's
holy moly!
That's what I can glean from that. Yeah. So
yeah, because,
purifiers will be in every list.
Yeah, no, because it's reroll 1s if you're off an objective. It's full rerolls to wound if they're on an objective. So like, that's that's good.
Yeah, that's real good. So they already reroll 1s to wound in the Grotmus detachment. they will now do that anyway, as long as they're attacking, or yeah, if they do get full wounds on an objective target, regardless, like that's
Yeah, veteran.
pretty
It's
bonkers.
the Legionnaires rule is veterans of the long war. Each time a model in this unit attacks an enemy unit with a melee attack, reroll a wound roll of 1.
Oh,
If the enemy
melee
is
attack.
Yeah, if the unit is within range of an objective marker, you can reroll the wound roll instead.
Okay, so it's melee only.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you don't even have to spend that command point we were just talking about. Like,
Yeah, but I was thinking like what they do is they tootle up, like get out of a rhino,
yep.
fire at an armiger with purifying flame, and all their storm bolters, and they have full hits to, or full rerolls to wound, and I thought that would be pretty crazy.
Archon, I think it doesn't necessarily nullify it because, I mean, smart players will keep their good stuff off of objectives. It's a similar thing to like when you're playing against Star Shatter when they get +1 to hit if you're sitting on an objective. Like, it is sometimes a reasonable thing to do to just like not stand on something because you know it's going to get shot to pieces.
Yeah,
So, I
that's why you
think,
can sticky stuff.
yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily nullify it. I think it makes it a little bit the use case a little bit different. So
Here's that part about grandmasters are just captains. So I assume that means they'll get their 0 CP thing. In fact, I'm pretty confident from another conversation I had. So grandmasters will get the same treatment as a Space Marine captain. They'll be able to reduce the costs of a stratagem in their unit to 0 once per battle round. We'll see if it has the wording on there, that's like, and you can use the same stratagem, even if it's been used once before in the same phase thing. Because that would have some pretty crazy implications with the other, with that super movement detachment we were talking about earlier.
yeah.
But then it looks like they get +3, or they get plus to strength and +3, or +3 to attack and +3 to strength once per game, just like the Space Marine Gravis captain does. It's the only one I know that has it because I play Deathwatch and it's the only Space Marine captain that I put into my list, but I assume other captains have that. So Purgation's slow. I heard that means it'll be -2, or anything that they fire at will be -2 to move and -2 to charge. Depending on the cost of a Purgation squad, that's either going to be amazing or not good. At least speaking from a 1v1 like competitive level, not list like tailoring. I've heard some folks with some really good arguments into specific armies about how that would be like real, like that neuters berserks from like Votan, stuff like that. But I don't know if, if they stay 125 points or 120 points, I don't know if I'll put one in a list just to slow another unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
So
it's one of those it's one of those abilities that every time I see it on like a stratagem or a data sheet or something, like I'm just like, that's neat, and then I move on with the rest of my life.
yeah,
Like I think,
is it Barbagants that do that too? But indirect, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it could be interesting. Like if it like again, it just depends on like what ends up being in the wording on the data sheet, but if it works in Overwatch, that could be interesting, right? Like now you have a piece that can be in the middle, and if something like needs to have a crucial charge, you overwatch with it, and suddenly this 7-inch charge that was pretty reasonable is now a 9-inch charge, or a 9-inch charge becomes an 11-inch charge if they're a backline holder. So it's
Yeah.
yeah,
That's an
yeah, I think
excellent synopsis, I think, Archon.
it's an interesting tech piece that could be good depending on like how you play and things that you want to do. So
So I found out who Archon is, but I'm not going to call them out until I get their permission to. But Anyway, yeah. So for those of you just like listening, Archon said for an army that jumps around and can easily tailor their range between you and your opponent, there may just be better units in this army. Now, granted, you can't teleport and bring an objective marker with you, so like you still have to play primary, but I understand that that statement quite well. Dreads are the same. I have also heard the same, that the Grandmaster Dread Knight and the normal Dread Knight, their datasheet did not change. The Grandmaster got all the fancy new shit, so the new Melta, the nipple guns, the flail, the mace, those do not go on the normal Dread. They only go on the Grandmaster. I've heard the Melta, yeah, range 18, strength 9, twin linked, Melta 4. Don't know the damage. I assume like D6 plus 2. So, you know, it has Melta range of 9 inches, but you can't advance and charge with the Grandmaster in Dread Knight, so I'm not 100% sure how good the Melta will be, the Sublimator. What do you think, Tommy?
I think it comes down to how many shots it's got, right? Like, if it twin linked makes it good. Like, if it didn't have twin linked, I'd be like, this thing is doo-doo, throw it in the bin. But, I mean, Melta 4 is good. Like, you just kill vehicles randomly. Like, if you roll a 6, it's just like, cool, enjoy your 10 damage. Like, it it can spike up and just make the gun way more consistent. And if you combine it with the mobility that you get in the whatever the vehicle detachment is, where everything's advanced 6 and has assault, like yeah, like that's pretty good. So I think it remains to be seen, like how many shots it's got, you know, where it comes in points wise. I mean, it is still going to be stapled to a T8 chassis, and people have gotten very good at killing small knights recently, so
for some reason.
yeah, people taking knights at tournaments, who does that?
Yeah, crazy.
So I know it's kind of remains to be seen what it looks like, and it's firmly in the needs more information column for me, but I think there might be something there. So
yeah, so I've heard the mace and the flail are also bad. Everybody will still bring the hammers. I don't know anything more than that. I've just been told they are trash. Everything I read says the same thing. The mace and the flail have very bad stat lines. I've also heard that the nipple guns are really bad. The nipple missiles. I don't know. Like, if that means that they basically get a free... What's the rocket launcher on the back of a Redemptor?
launcher.
Yeah, if it's a free one of those, like, okay, whatever. Like, it's free right now, but if we ever get to an edition where we're paying points for that stuff again and the satellite's bad, like, you just don't spend the 5 points or whatever, right? Like, big deal.
Dread Knights.
Yeah, and now we have nipple missiles, which will never get old. Just ask all the players of T-Suns with Magnus and his giant nipple horns. All right, so this is cool. Terminators get +1 AP on the charge. I mean, that's instead of lethal hits. On the charge, this is where some of the stuff I've heard conflicts with this. I've heard they always get +1 AP if they're engaged in anything that isn't a vehicle or monster. I haven't heard on the charge, but I don't know. Again, this is all conjecture. This is all a bunch of nerds talking to each other on the internet. So
yeah, I mean, if like the Paladin thing and the Terminator thing, like if their focus is on, you know, benefits on the charge, if the detachment ends up being, if the detachment ends up being a, you know, fallback and charge detachment, like, you don't care.
Yeah, if you're always charging, yeah. I mean,
ABC, baby.
Yeah. I agree with Archon though. Like, I would rather. Oh, who told me I can I can call him out. So this is Ben Greenlay. He's been on the show before. Also a much better player than I am. Much better. Yeah, I agree. Like, if I had to choose +1 AP or just always lethal hit, I don't know. It depends. Like, are your Terminators just stuck in the middle of the board all the time? They're just in combat the whole game, then probably +1 AP. If they're actively moving and charging, then you want the lethal hits. And yes, Kyle, we already went over this, but only the Grandmaster can bring the new weapons, from what I've been told. So you can't have 6 Dread Knights all with the Melta, which honestly makes sense for the Grandmaster Dread Knight. Like, he's the one who wants to move and do, like, he's got all this stuff to kill monsters and vehicles anyway. If you're going to put the anti-vehicle or monster gun on someone, it's probably going to be him. It is twin-linked. So, yes, it's strength 9. It's wounding a lot of vehicles on 5s, but at least you're fishing. Like, you're getting, full rerolls. So you're effectively wounding on 4s? Mathematically, I think you're wounding on 3s or 4s at that point. So it's not horrific. But it's not like strength 14. No. Yeah, it is. I think they gave it 18-inch Melta for that exact reason, so that you're not dropping into Melta range immediately and getting Melta 4.
So, as someone who experienced a single volcano lance doing 40 damage to me this weekend before
40?
rolling, yeah, dude,
4-0.
It's Melta 6 and does 2d6 shots.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It one tapped and it went on a Mysterious Guardian Knight chassis. So it has deep strike, and it just came in. It was like, that big knight, it's gone.
beautiful.
So, yeah.
All right.
But
yeah. So this is cool. Razorback. So that implies that we're not losing the Razorback, because there was some talk about what's going to go to Legends, which is another conversation we can have. But this implies that the Razorback's sticking around, and it is +1 AP for the rest of the turn for anybody who gets out of it, and I think including itself now, which is neat, because I guess that means, like, you could fire the Storm Bolters, you could get your hits, and then you could fire your, like, last cannons. I guess you declare them all at once, though, so I don't actually know how that works.
I don't think that would work.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think that would actually work either. But it does mean you could get 5 Purgation Squad guys out, all with, like, side cannons, or Ben said in chat, -3 AP flamers that ignore cover are pretty spicy when there are 4 of them.
Yeah.
Because we already have some of the best flamers in the game at strength 6, -2, 1 damage, and they already ignore or recover because they're flamers. And if you make them -3, that's also spicy. So is that particularly good and you should build a whole army like that? No. Is it really funny? Yes. Especially, like, into Eldar. You just get out and you're like, start pulling models, buddy.
Yeah. Take what was already a miserable matchup for your Eldar opponent.
Yeah, and just make it worse.
Make it worse.
Yeah. Vendred got the army rule. Yay! It never had it, which is one of the reasons no one brought it, even when it was our only source of rerolls in the whole index.
Just put that guy out of his misery and send him to Legends already. Like, he has done his duty. Put him in the dead fields and let us have a new model.
Yeah, let him sleep.
Let him...
Apparently, shoot +1 to hit versus an enemy. So going back to, like, the thing with the Razorback, it won't work for his shooting phase, but it sounds like it'll work for everyone else. I mean, it's not awful, right? You put an assault cannon on him, so you get more shots, so you guarantee the hit. If he's just there to give +1 to hit, like, it's not the worst thing. It depends on his points, obviously. If he's
It's
150
fine.
points, I'm not going to bring him to give +1 a hit.
Yeah, I mean, what's that? What's a Hellbrute cost these days?
I don't know.
Let's find
I'm
out.
sure somebody in...
They're 130 points in Chaos Space Marines.
So, Punished Rat, don't forget, man, if you love that on your model, like, first of all, the Dread Knight is super easy to magnetize. And secondly, like, if you really want to run it, just tell your friends what it is. Just don't be the confusing guy that's like, this mace is actually flail, and this flail is actually mace, and this, like, hammer is actually sword, because then everything will get really confusing. But if you want to put flails on them and say everything's a hammer, go nuts, my dude. Like, that's pretty normal to proxy stuff that way. I do agree the flail looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it does look pretty sweet. Yeah, Shazzy Bear has the points. Like for 115, like the Death Guard Hellbrute, if it's like 115, then sure, like it's a las cannon shot that's +1 to hit, and now all your Dread Knights just erase something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot of this is like the points, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
Paladins being damage 3 is great. If there's 60 points a model, I'm not bringing them. Why would they be like that high? I don't know. That's a stupid example, but I think I think you get my point. No AOC. Yep, that's not surprising. We're seeing a lot of the reduction effects kind of going away in general. AOCs are being phased out. Ignore modifiers are being phased out. So I'm not surprised. I mean, AOC got nerfed so hard anyway, right? Like, it went from must use every turn or every round to, or every turn to not, only use situationally. I don't actually remember them being that expensive, but you might be right. Ninth is so far behind in my brain that you could say they were 78 and I'd probably believe you.
Then you could also make them like 10 point, was it like 5 or 10 points more for hammers? But that squad ripped because you could give them 4 rolls to wound with hammer hand and go bonking.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. And they were the only 3 wound terminators in the game as well. Because
no, all the terminators are 3 wounds.
Well, they were at the end of the edition, but in 8th and the beginning of 9th, Paladins were the only 3 wound terminators in the game. All other terminators were 2 wounds, and then all Space Marines were 1 wound. I think. I don't know. Again, 9th and 8th were... Who cares? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about 10th. So Paladins can be 5 or 4, 5, 8, or 10 man, so they're getting kind of the custodes treatment because they're expensive. I've also heard this is what's going to happen to Terminators too. That would be neat, just to have some flexibility, or if you're like just shy a couple points in a list, you can drop 1 Terminator, maybe throw on another like enhancement and get that other like tech piece that you really wanted and lose 1 Termi. That's not terrible. Librarians, this is cool. So this also matches with what I've heard. 18-inch lone op. Vortex is gone? Changed is what I've heard. It's now a gun. It doesn't do mortals. It's a gun. It's a blast gun. I think it's 2 damage, 2 AP. I don't remember the rest of the stat line or if I even saw it. But 18-inch lone op for your whole unit is pretty incredible because you can bring three of those babies, and you can make potentially 3 very valuable units of Terminators or Paladins just untargetable outside of 18 inches. So that's
and it also like forces your opponent into some of your threat ranges, right? Where it's like you're no longer like they have to come towards you to interact with you, and like can be a miserable experience when you don't have a good thing to like interact with like a key lone op piece across the board.
Yeah.
So
It's also nice for us defensively because, like, I don't know how much 10th you guys have played, but like one of my most hated matchups was like Knights and Guard. Just a lot of like T9 plus toughness, like lots of wound bodies with good guns. Like, yeah, they're only hitting you half the time, but when they hit you, they fucking hit you. And at the start of the edition, our artillery was crazy good. So, and they slowed you. So
yeah,
your Terminators went from 5 to 3.
the Manticore was a war crime, man.
Yeah.
For Grey Knights.
So being able to just be like, hey, that's an awesome 96-inch rain gun that you have there. That does, 18 damage per hit. I don't care. Bring it with an 18. Come to me. Like, I think that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can attach more than like. We're gonna have to see the data sheets. I don't know if we can attach more than one leader. I don't know if like, you'll be able to put like a bro cap in with a grandmaster, because our grandmasters are a chapter master, and then our they're the captains, and our bro caps are like lieutenants, but they don't attach that way. So I don't know.
I hope they do bring something in to like do multi-character support, because like lore wise, Grey Knights have always been about like the confluence of psychers and like bringing in like multiple psychers to channel for like something greater. And it's like something that I've always enjoyed about the faction, and if you could see that represented on the tabletop, both in like a hey, this is cool, but also gives you some interesting options for list design, even better, right? Um, so yeah, I, if they do end up doing like 4 and 8 squad like Terminator options on like the data sheets, I think that that does kind of like that will be what they do. Like it um seems like a pretty clear design choice. So
Yeah. So drop the squad from 10 to 8, slap it in a grandmaster and a bro cap for just like wicked amounts
yep.
of like bonuses, and still have a 10-man. Yeah.
Yep.
Punish Rat asking, do we think hammers come back? No, I don't. I've heard it's still Nemesis force weapons across the board. I wonder if they fixed the librarian's one though, because his was 1 AP less than everyone else's.
He's just a nerd.
Yeah, he's just like,
yeah, it's I don't know. Like I've gone back and forth on this a lot. I don't like I like the hammer as like a cool thing to have, but like it sucks. It's just like one more weapon stat line you have to manage, and like magnetizing, and like if you're playing competitive, like it I don't want to clip my boy's arms off, man. Like it just
yeah, it's also a thing of like, oh, I moved wrong, and now my like hammer guy isn't in engagement range.
yep.
Now I can't swing with my hammer, and I really needed to because I moved wrong. I think in 10th edition, with the inclusion of things like dev wounds, lethal hits, and abilities to get that via strats or data sheets or like detachment rules or whatever, I think the like the necessary like needing to have a hammer is a lot less, at least from a rules standpoint, a lot less necessary, especially.
I like the flattening of like weapon stat lines that they've kind of done across this edition. I think
Yeah.
it's from a hobbying standpoint, it's great because like you can just build what's in the kit and you don't have to worry about the right choice.
That's another thing,
Right.
is that like I really like that now I put a unit on the board that like some of my Terminators have falchions, and another one has a warding stave, and one is a sword, and two of them have halberds, and one is a hammer, or whatever, right? I like it. Looks cooler on the board, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And don't forget too that with the widening of the toughness gap in 10th, like in 9th, having a strength 8 hammer was great. The highest like toughness in the game was like 10 or something. I don't remember actually, but it was a lot lower than it is now. If you run in now the strength 8 hammer into a T9 chimera, you're still wounded on 5s. Like doesn't really matter. Like you're pretty much fisting for dev wounds at that point. So I don't know. I don't
A
think
shadow sword was T9. Like a Baneblade chassis was T9. So.
Yeah, okay. So like yeah, you were wounding the biggest stuff in the game on 5s with in 9th with hammers. Which means the stuff that you wanted to hit, you were probably wounding on 3s or 4s. But that's not a thing in 10th. And if they start to make hammers like strength 10 or 11, then well, what's the point? So I don't know. I personally like the Nemesis force weapon stat line. I just wish that they were consistent, so like the librarian wasn't like left behind. So Shazzy, we're almost there, buddy. Hold on tight. Purifying Flame AP2. I think we already discussed that. So I guess we are there. And so what I've heard, and again, I'm gonna say this a lot, this is all a bunch of nerds talking on the internet. I haven't seen a book. I don't have a book, but I heard Drago is gone. He's just not in the game anymore. His datasheet is just gone. I heard that Voldus gets a slight glow up. And I don't know anything about Stern. I haven't heard anything about him. But I think the only named characters we're gonna have left are Crow and Drago. I think Stern goes. And then I know the Land Raider. Well, I don't know. I've been told the Land Raider, Banisher, and the Servitors go. So we lose Drago, Servitors, Land Raider, Banisher for sure. Well, again, for sure. In the context of what I read, for sure. And then we probably lost Stern.
They stopped selling the Banisher like a while ago, right?
Yeah. Like at the start of the edition, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens with datasheet, like what datasheets leave. But if it's Forge World stuff or resin stuff, maybe it comes back as a cool new kit in plastic, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's those long-standing rumors. These aren't things that I just heard like today, but they're the long-standing rumors that we're supposed to get a whole range refresh in 11.
Yep.
But again, it's another rumor. I think that all started with Valdrak too. So I know some folks really like him and trust him, and some folks very much do not. And I'm on the fence that the man is an entertainer. Let's see, Shazzy. I don't know. Is that emote supposed to portray happiness or sadness, or is that throwing something over their shoulder? Because they have headphones on, so I'm assuming they're at like a music festival. Anyway, I guess I'm an old man now. But yeah, Drago's gone. Who gets the Titan sword? I don't know. Maybe it's lost in the warp. Or maybe he's just lost for the rest of the edition. He comes back at 11th when he gets that new model. Who knows?
He's lost in the manufacturing.
Oh, it's a wave. Got it. Gosh, what else? Oh, the bro captain. There was some questions about that. With the Grandmaster getting the captain treatment, I would not be surprised to hear the brother captain get the lieutenant treatment. So lethal hits to his unit. I think that that's rad, by the way. Because, like, in that Rapier's detachment, you give your unit sustained with a leadership check, and you already have lethals.
Sustained on a Terminator unit is hell of a drug.
It's
and
good.
If the internet rumors about paladins are correct, it like lethal sustained on strength or on damage 3 weapons. That hits real hard.
Real hard. Yeah. Especially if you're in like, well, I guess you'll be rapiers for that specific thing, but like,
Yep.
even if you're in Warpbane and you just have reroll all hits with
It's
lethals, like that's really good in the tanks and with D3. So,
Yep.
I am a little saddened to see that there isn't a like preserver style detachment that just made everything tougher. I would have loved to see that just from a play style thing. Not necessarily even think it's very good, but maybe like all power armor gets a 5-up invul, and then all like Terminators get a 6-up feel no pain or something.
Yeah, but like a 5-up invul, like with 2-up armor save, that's AP 4 in cover.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
that's true. That's true.
But yeah, I was surprised. Like, maybe there's stuff baked into the Terminator detachment that or something. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't seem like that Ward Maker's style, like just really durable. It's not Ward Makers. What was it in 9th
It
edition?
was the preservers, sir.
Preservers.
Yeah. Or like maybe -1 to wound.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Stuff
but,
like that would be interesting, but
yeah.
What else? Yeah, I don't know in any points either. So a lot of this is like, again, like the Vendread. It sounds really good. If he's 250 points, we're not bringing him. He better have some crazy other glow ups going on to be like more expensive than a Dread Knight. But if he's 100 points, you can't quite fit another strike squad in there. Just shove him in there. So, any other questions? We have. Oh, you want the psychic phase back? Man, I don't want the psychic phase back.
They're not Silver Marines, they're teleporting Silver Marines, okay?
Yeah, come on, man. No, I had a love-hate relationship in 8th and 9th with the psychic phase. Usually it was hate. So I mean, it would be like saying Space Marines only get Oath of Moment if they roll 2d6 and get a like 7 or higher, but only if they're 1 HQ with the power is on the board. Oh, and if you fail, you kill yourself. That's what the psychic phase in 9th was, and it was awful. I went to a RTT in 9th with my Grey Knights. I brought Drago. Drago's entire job was to cast Gate of Infinity. That was his only job. We had a stratagem at the time that we could roll 1 psychic test with a 3d6. And Drago failed it every single time, every time he cast it the entire tournament. I still came in like 3rd, but I hated that. It's like my entire game plan comes down to this die roll, which is a 50-50 shot. If I make it, I win. If I don't, I lose. And it's in like round 2, right? It's not like final charge, like the bottom of round 5, and everybody's been like sweating their ass off and having a great game. It comes down to the wire. It's like, oh, I really need this to occur, or I'm in a really bad spot for like the rest of the game. You want your army to just do that, right? Like Dark Pact, if it didn't go off, if they fail their leadership, then they're now rolling 50% chance on every unit, each phase that they want that unit to do something cool, to actually have it do the thing that they brought it to do. I think that's not great game design, personally. I don't like the psychic phase. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah, I had hoped that, like, to Shazzy's point though, I think I had been hoping that they would do like a different army role. I think when it comes to, like, if teleporting is going to be the thing they lean into, I think it's such a powerful mechanic within 40K that, like, movement wins games, and, like, infinity movement is, like, something that, from a balance and game design standpoint, you really walk a razor's edge, and, like, it does severely limit the tools and tricks that you can put into the army, right? Like, the army just gets too powerful if it just is, if things are a little undercosted. Like, you saw that with the 3 Redeemer, 6 Dread Knight builds that were
Yeah. God.
rampaging
Thanks,
around
Manny.
for a little while, right? And it's like, it just takes 1 or 2 data sheets just being a little messed up, and then suddenly we're in a rough spot, like, just as a meta. And so I don't know. I'm the stuff that they previewed looks really interesting, and I'm gonna play it, and I love my Grey
Yeah.
Knights. But
No,
I
absolutely. Yeah.
I think when it comes to 10th, and the rollover to 11th, I do kind of hope they take a look at the faction identity and maybe make a detachment that's uppy downy, and then kind of bring back the psychic phase, but not in the not in the same way that it was in ninth edition and previously, but, like,
Yeah.
something more consistent. And
I
maybe there's some downside to it, like Dark Pacts, right?
Yeah, I've said this for as long as this edition's been around, but like to Shazzy and Jazz Hand's point, like what I would love to see is our datasheet ability on our units have an overdrive, like a psychic
Yeah.
upcast, basically, where if you want
Hmm.
to, like, let's say my favorite example is Terminators, right? So right now the data sheet is lethal hits on the charge. It's fine. What if you roll a leadership check and now you also have Lance? If you fail it, you lose a Terminator effectively, like from damage, but now the rest of your guys have Lance. That would have helped us punch up. At the beginning of, not so much that like we're overbearing and there was a downside, but like enough to help us out where we bounce off a high toughness stuff at the start of the edition, especially when we first released and we were very expensive. Very, very expensive. So that's the kind of thing. And that would open up so much cool design space too. Like, imagine if interceptors were like, you could double move or something. That's a really fast, example. You still can't charge, but like you could move another 12 inches. You still can't.
The flicker jump treatment from warp spiders. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like basically warp spiders, and that would open up a lot of design space meant to design space to make it feel like a psyker army where, all right, these guys, they train together, and this is their standard output. But if they're pushing themselves in combat, they can do this other thing. And if they push too hard, A just fails, a guy dies, or whatever. But that's a choice that you're making. That's much more interesting than like, a psychic phase, I think. And it doesn't feel the same way as T-Suns, which I love their power. Like their army rule is very cool. Do not get me wrong. It feels very psychic-y. but it also feels very Thousand Sunsy too, because of, you know, if you want more Cabal points, you bring more sorcerers, and you can't bring too many sorcerers because you need units. So they're balanced that way. So I do agree that there are some things that they could do.
Yeah, and I think like one detachment or something like that that they could do in like a new edition would be do Cabal points and just call it like, you know, it's a you know, Confluence Brotherhood type of thing of like you want to be channeling multiple psychers to like go take down a greater demon, right? And
Yeah.
so like that'd be a cool mechanic
I've
to
been
add as like a detachment or something like that. So
I've been playing a little bit of Custodes, and I've been playing Lions, and their whole thing is they're such a small model army that the, you know, as long as you are not within 6 inches of another friendly unit, you get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. That's pretty amazing. You could do a confluence of like Psyker things where you basically want like a death ball, where like the more units up to a maximum are within 6 inches, you get some bonus, right? Like they're all coming together physically and they're all empowering each other. And I like that would be neat.
if it's, you know, if you've got like 4 psychers next to each other, you get like +1 or 2 to move or something like that, and allows you to kind of fan out in the beginning and then like um
Yeah, collapse
you know,
on one side.
collapse
Yeah.
in on something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Lots
but
of design space in this game.
yeah. Lots of design space, that's for sure. So
Are there any other questions people have? Probably have answers. Um, yeah, I'm looking if I had anything particular juicy. I don't. Yeah, I wonder what some of these enhancements are going to be like.
see, I mean, rerolling charges from the one they previewed seems interesting in a teleporting detachment, but I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
it always felt I mean, as you know, and you're probably happy Drago's gone. Because Drago has failed you so many times.
Yeah, I have
Um,
I no tears shed for that guy if he's gone.
but he was one of our only ways to like reliably get charges out of defense mathematically. That
Yeah.
didn't always work out for you, but mathematically, you know, what is it? The +3 with a reroll is like 92% chance to
Yep.
land that
Without
9-inch charge. Yeah.
failing it with a reroll is like under 1% or something like that.
Yeah.
So
But he can do it.
yeah, sometimes he does that.
Librarius Conclave with Tides would be pretty cool. I mean, Librarius Conclave is already kind of Tides, which is already kind of Doctrines. But that is neat. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. So anyway, yeah, we'll see. On Saturday, pre-orders go up. Saturday is when the NDA should lift. Saturday is when all those people like Vanguard Tactics and Art of War and all the other content creators will drop, or Play on Tabletop will probably drop all their like crazy battle reports that they've been holding on to for 6 weeks. So we'll start to really see the rules then.
yeah, go check those folks out and go see what the people who actually know what they're talking about at the game with the game have
Right.
to say
Yeah.
about this stuff. So, you know.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna let folks ask some more questions. In the meantime, Tommy, you got anything you want to plug?
No. I mean,
No books coming out, nothing?
no, I'm not an author. I mean, that they're re-releasing the Grey Knight Omnibus, which is pretty sick. If you've ever read that,
Yeah,
it's
I have. I have.
three book
Yeah.
series. You know.
It's the one with the Titans. That's one, right?
Yeah, that's the second one, Dark Mechanicus.
Okay.
First one is just, hunting after a greater demon of Tzeentch. Second one is like some corrupted titans.
That's the
That
yeah,
one's a
yeah.
little weird because they can't harm it. Anyways, I'm not gonna spoil it if you haven't read it.
Spoil like a 12-year-old book.
Yeah,
Hey,
and then
hey
the third
Tommy.
one,
Darth
uh,
Vader is Luke's father.
dude,
Spoiler alert.
cut the feed.
Yeah.
We're done.
Was it cut it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't see any more comments, so I'm gonna start closing things down. Thank you, Tommy, for popping in. He pinged me right after the preview hit, and he's like, "So you want to do a stream?" And I said, "You know what? I should probably do a stream. It's been like 3 months since I've turned on my my streaming equipment. I should probably do that." Sorry I've been gone. Just I started a new job, and then just with the Codex like limbo. It's like I could give you guys more battle reports of an army that can 4-1 every event, but can never take one. Uh, you know, so we'll see how we land. People I've spoken to rank it like a strong low A, a strong low A, a strong A, I guess I should say. Probably nothing crazy, nothing Death Guard level. Like there's nothing that will like. Grey Knights won't be top of the meta for 6 months or something. But we should definitely crack open the meta with some interesting new wombo combos and stuff.
I think if depending on what happens with the next data slate with getting Knights and Death Guard in check, Thousand Suns are just waiting in the wings, but I think Grey Knights have a solid answer to some of those. So yeah, we'll see how it kind of shakes out with this new codex. So
yeah, I'm excited. So NDAs lift on Saturday, pre-orders go up on Saturday. I'll be camping in the middle of the woods, so might not even get a codex. I don't know. But the 9th,
yeah.
The 9th is when it actually officially releases, which is nice because that's like just before my birthday. In 9th, it actually released on my birthday, which was even nicer. But you can't always get it, I guess, on your birthday.
Can't win them all.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're rambling now, so I will call it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff down below. I have links to a bunch of Discords for Deathwatch and Grey Knights and my own. We're a small server, but I think we're pretty chill and cool. So come check us out. And as we learn more information, I'll do way more streams. Wraith Mace was in here earlier. We'll be doing another stream. I'll be a guest on his stream on Sunday. On Sunday night, same time that this went live. And we'll be going over everything we know then, which will be effectively everything, because all of the NDAs will be lifted. So immediately we're going to see photocopies or like pictures of every single page of the entire codex. So in the meantime, have fun, nerds, and don't forget to